Hey guys, welcome back to the reflection room. If you've ever been let down by someone you trusted, I want you to know something right away. That feeling is common and it's completely normal. Whether it's a friend or a spouse, a colleague, or even a family member, at some point in life, someone is going to disappoint us. And when it happens, it can feel very personal, heavy, and even confusing. But here's an important reminder that I want you to hear. Someone else's actions are not a reflection of your worth. When someone breaks your trust or I don't know, lets you down somehow, it's very easy to internalize it. You might start thinking, what did I do wrong? Or why wasn't I good enough? But in reality, their behavior is about their choices and their capacity, and sometimes even their own unresolved issues. It is definitely not about your value as a person. When we talk about being let down, it doesn't always mean something big and catastrophic and dramatic happened. Sometimes it's not a major betrayal at all. It can be something as small and simple as someone not showing up for you the way they said they would, not following through, not communicating, or not being emotionally available when you needed them. And even if it seems small to others, it can still hurt. And that feeling is valid. You are allowed to feel hurt. You don't have to minimize your feelings just because someone else might say, it's not that big of a deal. If it impacted you, it matters. Emotional pain doesn't have to be extreme to be real. Now, one of the biggest questions that we oftentimes get as therapists, it comes up often in the room, is should I say something or should I just let it go? There are pros and cons to both. On the one hand, expressing how you feel can create clarity. It gives the other person the opportunity to understand the impact of their actions. It can actually strengthen a relationship if they respond with accountability and care. That's a big if. On the other hand, not everyone has the emotional maturity to receive this kind of conversation well. Sometimes expressing your hurt might actually lead to more defensiveness, dismissal, or even frustration. So the real question becomes, what outcome are you hoping for? If you're seeking to repair the relationship or receive some kind of understanding, it may be worth having the conversation. But if the person has shown you a pattern of not being perceptive or to what's going on around them or a safe space, it may be healthier to process your feelings without expecting change from them. Also, it's important to recognize that breaking trust can look different for different people. For some, it's dishonesty. For others, it's inconsistency or emotional absence or even lack of support. So, your definition of trust is your definition. So, don't compare your boundaries to someone else's. What matters is what trust means to you. If you do decide to reach out to someone who hurt you, here's a simple way to approach it. I always say it's important to speak from a place of experience, not from a place of accusation. Experience, not accusation. Instead of saying, you always let me down, you might say, I felt hurt when this happened because I was expecting something different. That shift reduces defensiveness, hopefully, and opens the door for a more productive conversation. And finally, let's talk about tools for dealing with the pain because regardless of what the other person does, you still have to take care of yourself, right? So, a few things that can help. First is give yourself space to feel without rushing to fix it. Something else you could potentially do is journal your thoughts so you can process what actually hurt you and why you found it to be so painful. Talk to someone you trust who can offer a different perspective and even the support you're looking for. And then I would say revisit your boundaries and ask yourself if anything needs to shift moving forward. And the most importantly is remind yourself again that someone else's behavior does not define your worth. Some people need to hear that twice. Experiencing disappointment and broken trust is part of being human, but I like to think that how you respond to it is where your power really lives. Thanks for sitting with me today. And as always, my recommendation remains the same. Keep reflecting.